Hello, Oliano Dasi over here for another tutorial. Today we are going to see how I created a simple grid system in order to show the most popular technical content created by numericaideas community. We will use basic skills like HTML and CSS in order to accomplish the job. Without wasting too much, let's go straight to the point. Okay, let's go. So let's create a simple folder for the project. We open this folder, we go in it first, and then we open it with VS Code. Perfect. This is a very simple implementation. In this folder, we can have an index.html file, a style.css file, because it's very important to always separate the style from the HTML. Can have a readme file, and I never recommend to start any to solve any problem by writing code. It's important to have a plan first before moving forward, so we know what the end result is already. If I go here, if you try to open yourself numericaideas.com for today, because the website can change anytime, we can have we just scroll down and we will see the popular content section, and which is a kind of grid system that has some cards in it, and each card has a feature image, a title, a description, and of course the image and the title are clickable. So if you click on it, you can see the direct page being opened in another tab. Now let's go to the implementation. So we are going to implement the NI grid content. And what about the plan? Let's write some to do in order to have this finish. It's important to have the context in mind. We have the context already. What about the structure of the page? Come out with the structure of the page, and then for me the most important element to build over here is the card itself. After we have a card, we are just going to do some duplicate to have the other ones, and of course we will make sure to put them in a container in order to make them flexible or manipulable by using a FlexBox, for example. And outside of this, we can have a main section that has the main section that contain the card and a title for the popular content section. Perfect. So we're going to build the card afterward. Yeah, and then we will build the main component. Let's say main container of the section and the grid. After this, we can take a look at how to implement the badge that we have on some card on the top, because the content can be articles or video. Implement the badge, maybe add some animation, and make sure the section is responsive, of course, because you never know what device your users are going to open your website with. It can be a desktop, a computer, a tablet, or a phone. So let's go straight to the point now. We can create the HTML page, the structure first. As we said before, in this we can have a head, maybe a title. Yeah, not important, but let's do it. NI grid content implementation. Good. Over here we can have the body of the page, and for the structure, as we said, we can have a main section that contains everything. Over here we can create a section. In this section we have the H1 title, for example, which has the text popular content. Popular content, perfect. In it we can have maybe a div. Whoops, Yeah, you can have a div that will contain the grid to show the most popular articles and videos. So let's say we have a class on top of this that we call row, and over here we have a class that we can call popular section. It's more explicit that way. Popular section, row, or yeah, this one is perfect because we never know, maybe what we are going to do over here in this section can be used elsewhere. So we are going to give a generic name like row, for example. No, I recommend to do this over here instead. Anyway, we'll come back to that point later. So let's leave the class name as row for now, and then in this section you have to implement the card. The card can be something very simple as a div that has the class card, and then in this div we have the image img card img like this. An image can have a source. I can copy the source of this image, for example, copy image address, I put it here. Okay, after the image we have the body of the card that has the title and the description. This can be a div as well. We have a title in it. I don't know, it can be an h2 or h3. Let's say h2 to have a more understandable structure in terms of accessibility. H1, h2, and in this we can have the title. What is that again? Lift and shift, cloud migration to AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Perfect. And just down we have the can be a div as well for the description. We put this. Oops, I hope I don't have any errors around in the structure. Perfect. We can have a class over here for this that we can call card body, and if I save this and I try to open I'm going to separate this just to have a clear representation of what the card is. The card has an image, card image, the card body that has the card title. If you want, I don't know if this class is going to be useful, but let's put it for now. We have the card title and the card description. Perfect. I save it and let's try to open this page now. Is it possible to do control click open with live server? Perfect. Live server is available. So we have the end result over here, and we have the live server that shows what we are actually building. We have the image, the title of the card, and the description, but the dimension is not well defined for now because we are just starting. Let's make this a little bit smaller to start because we don't want the card to be that big. Okay, so what do you think? Because if you're building a card and we have a row that contains those cards, let's start by this. No, we'll come back to the row later. Here is the card. We can give, for example, some style to that card. If you do something like this, the class of the card is card, right? Come over here. If you define a width, for example, because right now it is too big for the card to be, I don't know, 20%. What do you think about this? We save it, refresh. Okay, more thing, 20% of the page, and now the card is somewhere, right? Okay, we have a row. What is the width of the row? 100% normally. So the card is going to be 20% of what? Maybe we have to define a row on the top with 100% and see what happens. Oh, sorry, I have to make sure that the style is linked with the HTML page first before trying to do anything else. I believe we have to use the link tag for that. The rel is going to be style sheet and the type is going to be text / CSS, and then we can provide a href, which is the source of the which is the source of the file to use over here. And now if you refresh again, you'll see have a difference. The title now just take 20%, I believe, of the full dimension of the page, and maybe this width over here is not required at all. Yeah, it isn't, because anyway it's by default it's going to be 100%. And now the card is using 20% of the page, but the image is very big, so we have to we can add some class for the image as well in order to make it a little bit smaller. Perfect. Right now the image is very big. If I come back to the page, I do this for example. I love to use the debugger of the browser because sometimes to go a little bit quicker, you can test some feature over here, and when you have it working, you can bring it now to your code. I love to do this. So you can put the width of the card image to be 100%. So the class is card image, I believe. Yeah, card img. The width can be 100% so that it isn't going to be too wide as before. Now we start to have something interesting, even if the font is not good enough for now, but we don't care because we want to focus on the structure first. What about the title of the section, popular content? Is it possible to center this like this? Yeah, it is. So do we have a class for that element? No, but it is included in the popular section content, so we can do something like this. Popular section, the h1 included. We are going to have only one h1 in this, so don't worry about that. And if it is different for you, you can change it, of course. So now we have the popular content title. We have one card that starts to be very interesting, and you can see in the border that the image doesn't take 100% of the width of the card. Let's first add some border in order to know where the card start and finish. So I prefer to do so always from the browser first. We have the card over here. Is it possible to add a border here? I believe so. 1 pixel solid black, for example, or red, more visible for now. Perfect. And what about adding a padding so that we can have some small space around on the top and on the bottom and all around? Maybe something very small like 2 pixels. Yeah, perfect. Now what about the border? The color is not good enough. If you go even with some kind of dark color, something like this, I like it. So for the card, if you have the padding and the border that we have just created, I'm going to put this in the source code like this. So if I refresh the page, it will stick. Perfect. I can even zoom over here to see what we have. For now, we have the card image, the card title, and the card description included in the body of the card. So it starts to be interesting. So what is the next problem now? Maybe the font is not good enough, I believe. We can take a look at some good font on Google, for example, Google fonts. There is a font I really like, which is called Roboto. I don't know if you can see it somewhere. Yeah, we have Roboto. I will take this. Yeah, the regular version. So the way to include the font is very simple. I just have to copy this. I come in my page. I believe the place to put it is here in the head of the page. Perfect. Let me put the style very down because sometimes we want to. No, let's put it that way for now. And then you can add this as a font family everywhere you want to use that font. And if I open the page on small, I refresh it. Even if the lifesaver does refresh automatically, sometimes we are just a bit skeptical. Let's come to the popular content title. If I put the font over here, you can see that the font is a bit interesting compared to before. And what about using these for the wall section or the wall body of the page? Nice, I like it. This is a bit different and better than before anyway. You can use any font for the page. I don't know. So for our example, we are going to stick with the body is not a class, it's a tag. We are going to stick with Roboto as the font for the page. Perfect. And we can see that the padding for the title and the description is a bit bigger. By padding over here, I mean the space that we have before the text start over here on the left, and maybe on the right side as well. It is similar. I just open the debugger just to try it out first before going to the code. We are looking for the card body because it contains the title and the description. So let me add a padding over here to see what the result is. Padding maybe 20 pixels. Too big. Yeah, I believe. I can go a little bit down like this. Yeah, maybe 15% is better, but 10% could be the one to use. Okay, so for the card body we should have 10% as the padding. I come back to the source code. Do I have the card body over here? No. I can add it. Card body padding 10%. Now I have the padding being used for the card body. Over here you have some space between the image and the card body, which is fine according to what I see over here on the website. And maybe we can even go a little bit forward to add some kind of rounded border to the card over here. I don't have it on the website, but it's just for fun that I do it. So we come on the card over here, which is border radius, if I don't remember to do it. What about 30 pixels? It's too big. Yeah, because the image is going to be outside of the card. If you do that, maybe something like 8 pixels. Let me zoom to see what is the end result. Yeah, not too bad. We can do the same for the image, but it is too much work and I don't want to go that route for now. Okay, is it even interesting to do that? I'm not sure. Okay, but we can keep it for now. Let's do something like 5 pixels. Yeah, I like it. So the card can have 5 pixels for the border radius. Okay, we go back over here, the card 5 pixels for the border radius. Now let's go back to the plan. The context done. Whoops, let me do this instead. The structure of the page, done. We have the card already, even if we can improve it later, done. The main container of the section, we have it, but yeah, and the main container of the cards or the grid, we have it also, which is the row over here, even if we don't have any style on it for now. But this is the next step. We have to finish to implement all the main section. The main section for the popular content is done, but what about the one that's going to include all the cards? We have only one card for now, but if you add many of them, are you sure that the design are going to be appreciable? Let's just try to save this like this. No, it isn't. The content goes down, which is not what we expect. We want the content to be aligned one after the other on the right side, and if there is no space on the right side, it should go down to display the other ones. We are just going to put the content first of maybe 4 more cards. So I will copy this image to put here. Okay, don't like to do this kind of stuff because it takes time, but anyway, no trouble. Most of the time, if you build a real application, you're going to use JavaScript to duplicate this, or to create a loop that is going to display the card dynamically. But I don't want to super change the tutorial. This should be something very simple, nothing complicated anyway. As an improvement, we can come back with a JavaScript implementation in order to make this dynamic enough, but this is not the purpose of the content for now. Okay. So let's not forget that when we click on the title or on the image of the page, we forgot about this one. We should open the content related to it, so the image can be added in the link like this. I think so. Yeah, we can do the same for the title. Have a more complete structure. Yeah, this is not going to be simple because I have to do it for other cards as well. No trouble. Oops. Now let's use real links for each card. For this one, it is a copy link address. Open this video here and here for the title. For the second one, it is a blog post. This and this. The third one is the React articles. We have the image for this one, the image as well over here. We should use the image for the React article. and you have the link already. Perfect. If you refresh the page now, you'll see we have all of these being displayed, one just down the other, because they are div, which is normal. A div is a block element, or it is an element of type block if you want. Okay, let's add one more. We need to have the title, the image or link that I can place over here, and now the link to open in case we click on that image, or on the title. Now what about the description? Yeah, I have to copy this as well. Perfect. I have something interesting. I only have the content 1 2 3 1 2 3 card. Oops, I made a mistake. I have to go back. I should have copied this one to create the other one. Not a big deal. Can simply do this. Perfect. Put it down. Now I have 4 cards. Yeah, the next challenge that we have right now is to be able to display the grid element one after the other on the right side. And if you have nothing more to show, or if there is no more space, we can just go to display the other one just down. To do that, we can just open the documentation to know how FlexBox work. I love to open the Mozilla Developer Network documentation because we have some kind of quick example that we can use over here in order to move forward, flex direction, and so on. So we would like to wrap the content, I believe, in order to implement this flex wrap. Perfect. So I believe right now you know how FlexBox works. If you don't know, it's a very simple way to organize your content on your page by using some kind of column and rows. So it's important to know the direction of the content that you want to show. If it is, I describe the wrap element already. It's just a section like this to have the element. So let's go back to documentation on small. I'm sure there is an example around. Let's consider your wrapping over here, or go down, we have a more interesting one. This sample FlexBox example. You can see you have some kind of card, and since we have no more space on the right side, the other one are going to be displayed just down. Good. So let's do this. It's very simple. So we have to go back to the source code and we make sure that the parent element of the cards, which is the row, should be a FlexBox. This is the very first thing to do, because if it is not a flex, you are not going to apply flex stuff on that element. So right now it is a flex. You can see that just by itself the element start to be displayed on the same line, because I believe here, I'm not mistaken, that the default flex direction is the column. Is that a column or the row? If I do this flex direction, yeah, it is a row. If I put column, it's going to be one after the other. Yeah, the default display of the flex is the row. That is why the element display one after the other, which is perfect. So I'm going to duplicate the last element just to show you how it will behave in case you have many of these. Let's put 2 like this. Perfect. It's just going to be smaller and smaller, maybe because you have space. Let's continue to do so just to see. So it is smaller and smaller We don't want to the card to be reduced like this if we don't have space on the right side. That is why we have to come over. We have to come back to the source code in order to make sure that the flex wrap of this element is set to wrap. And if you go back to the documentation over here, you will see that is exactly what they have done. And now you can see we have the other one displayed just down, but it is not perfect enough right now. But why do we have some space on the right side? Let's fix that. Oh, if you have some space, maybe maybe it is a good reason to add or justify content in order to define how the space are going to be used. Let's put something like this, and maybe you can use space around in order to use that space to define some space evenly between the card. There are so many options for this. There is center in order to center the element. You have the end to display just right to the right section. There are so many options that we can use over here. Simply going to use the space around. Maybe the space between is a good option as well, but I love the space around. Space evenly is perfect as well. Also, I will use the space evenly instead, so we have the same amount of space between the element and of course on the left and on the right side. Perfect. But now it's not good enough to have the card being displayed side by side like this. We need to have some space just down as well. So on the card I can put just a small border bottom. I don't know if there is another option. Maybe let's start by this. Whoops, it doesn't work. Perfect. Doesn't work at all. Okay. No, not border bottom. Sorry, my bad. Margin bottom instead. $30 pixels. Yeah, it works. Maybe 20. That is nice. So I have the grid over here, which start to be very interesting. But what about the space? For me, the space is kind of very big, and that is because the card just used 20% of the width of the page. So you know that the page, the width of the default width of the div element on the page is 100%. And if you use 20% of the that div, and if you use 20% of that space, you are simply going to have 80% of the page width being used, which is, for this scenario, for example, 4 card 4 multiplied by 20. What about we put 22 over here, for example, to make it a little bit bigger, times 4? Yeah, it's going to be 88. I like it. And if you use something very bigger, it is possible that we will have some error. 40%, for example, it's just going to display 2 cards, because 40% by 2, it is 80%. The only space left is going to be used just to organize your content, to have some kind of arrangement around. So we will stick with 22 like this. So let's go back to the code and we put 22 over here. Forgot to put the margin bottom to the code, 20 pixels. Oops, what about justify content? Space evenly. Good. So now we have the cards. Let's go forward and we put a dark body to the whole page just to make it a little bit visible. So on the body over here, you can put background color if I do remember correctly. Black. Okay, is that what we have over here? Yeah. Okay, and now the card has a white background. You can see it over here for each of the card, and the title over here is white as well. Okay, let's do that. It's very simple. On the card, the background color, oops, is white. The title of the word section is white as well. Yeah, interesting. But this one is very big compared to our version, so I have to improve it. Now look at the title over here. We don't have to underline just on the bottom of the text. On our version we do have it, so you have to remove it quickly, and the color of that link should be black as well. So we are going to do some experiment together. If I do remember, to do that we have to remove the text decoration of the A element. Is that the case? Text decoration, yeah, because by default you can even see it over here. The browser even define it has underline. The default display of a link in HTML has the underline, so we can just do text decoration and we remove it, none, and the color can be black. Perfect. So I copy this. This is the card, the link included in the card title. So it is the link included in the card title. Perfect. This is the case now for all the other title, not only for the first one. What is left? Maybe the title is a little bit bigger on our version, but this is something that you can change as you want. That depends on you. You can come over here and okay, maybe can do something different. Font size of the R can be a little bit smaller. I'm just trying something, because normally we prefer to use the rem or the em notation in order to do this. Okay, if I remove it, yeah. Card title A. I believe that the description and the title of the card are justified. So let's come over here and we try to justify this. What is this, the syntax again? So text align justify, yeah, for it to be to take more space and to be evenly displayed. Same for the title. Is that the place to do so? Maybe not. What about here? Yeah, on the card title and the card description, both of them need to be justified. I'm just referring to the text, nothing more. Card title, card description, text align, justify. Perfect. Okay. Now we have the grade. The popular content title is very small. We can improve that. We can improve it by using the font size still, but maybe using 2 rem is a solution for it, or you can even make it a little bit bigger. I believe 3 is fine. Popular section H1 on this part. And now we have a grid system that starts to be very interesting. You can even compare what we have over here on the website and maybe improve just a few part of it. Like the font size is different, of course. I'm not going. The color of the description is different as well, but I don't remember which color I used for this. Can I see it over here? It is black as well. But this is lighter than the black that we have on our side, so I don't know if there is something special around. Maybe no. So let's come back over here. So this has something to do with the font family. Okay. And if you want the description to be lighter, you can still add a different color over here and just click on it. You reduce the opacity of the color. No, maybe not opacity, but we select a color close to black, but which is not pure black. Perfect. Not very different at all. Okay. I don't know, but there are so many gate of possibilities over here. I'm confused what color I should use because it's a bit different over here. Anyway, we are not trying to replicate it exactly as it is on the website. You know exactly what to do in order to change the color if it is. But I do believe you have to investigate on the font family as well. So for me it is a little bit on the same way that I build the one that you see over here on the website, with some particularity that because we had some kind of general design for the text and the color and so on. Maybe the space between the image and the title is so big. Where is that? Is that a padding of the body? Yeah, it is. If I click on computer over here, you can see that it is only the. I put 0 for the board or padding top. Yeah, it is better. Padding top 0. key. You can do something like 0 and 10 pixel on the left, 10 pixel on the bottom, sorry, and 10 pixel. Body. Okay, yeah, you can do this. Card body. Perfect. Now let's go back to the plan. We have the grid implemented already. Even if we can improve it even more. We will stick with that version for now. Now, what about the badge? The badge is just a simple element that we can display on the very top, as this one for example. It contains the type of content that we display. For other one, for article we don't display any badge, but for, yeah, it's something similar to this that I implemented, and we have to do this for the first video, the first card. This one, let me add the badge over here. The version that you see online has been built using React and Sass, so it is not very similar to what I'm building right now in terms of stack, video, and for the maybe the second one or this or the second line, 1 2 3 4 1 2, this one, video as well. Perfect. What about the CSS for the card badge? Let me take it over here. Have something like this. Oops. Okay. Now let's go back to the page. Do we have it displayed? No, it is very far. Yeah, I believe that is because we have to make sure that the position is respected, because this badge has a position absolute in this container. So let's put a relative position for the main component in order to display the other one has absolute. Here, which work. So I will take this one and put it on the card over here. Perfect. We have the badge implemented, even if the design is not, it's a bit smaller. So I'm going to zoom in to make it bigger. Of padding, something like this. Good. Interesting. And maybe the color can be white. Perfect. So now I have the style for the card. It's very simple. We simply have the position absolute, the badge in the card. So this position is going to be relative to the card itself, and then we simply have the background, which is a pink color, the padding in order to make it a little bit bigger like this, the white color for the text, and it is displayed close to the right end of the card like this. I like the end result. I don't know for you, but it's interesting. What is the next element to implement? Yeah, you can add some animation as well, and if you have some doubt, simply open Mozilla Developer Network and you'll see how to implement a very basic animation for your element. What we have right now on the website is when you put your mouse on a card, you will see it is just going to be zoomed in just a bit, and you will see the content just come over to your face like it is just stepping out. So we can do something like this. I have a small animation for this as well, nothing very complicated. Let me try to bring it. It's just about changing the scale. So let's open the documentation to see how to implement that animation. If you do something like this scale animation, you will see you have so many of these. For example, the documentation directly. Transform scale 1 is an option. Yeah, we copy this, and this is going to be applied on over. So if you over the element like this, you put it. So if you over the element, we call it animation. This is the card itself. So you come back on in the source code, you look at the card. Yeah, just down. You can add even over on this element, and then we transform. Just copy and paste and modify when it's enough. Oops, did I copy the text? Let me do it manually. Transform scale 1. Come back here. Nothing is applied. So we need to add a transition for it to work, because we don't have any transition. Maybe one is just the normal scale of each element. I believe I have to make it different than 1 to see the effect applied to it. Maybe let's say 1.06 exactly. But now the animation is very quick. Let's make it a little bit smaller by adding a transition to the card. Now you see the effect. It is smoother now because you added a transition to it. And that is how I succeeded to implement the version that you see right now on the website. This is pure CSS. But if you use some library like Tailwind or Bootstrap, you can implement something more better. And maybe you are not going to learn itself how you can implement it in case you would like to customize the one provided by your popular or your preferred front-end framework. But this is not the end. We still have to make sure that the grid is responsive, because the website can be used on mobile device and tablet. So you first have to know exactly what is the end result. For me, if you have a bigger screen, we need to display 4 elements per line like this. And if you have a tablet, maybe you can display 2 of them. And for smaller devices like mobile phone, we can simply display 1 card per line. So I believe it is better that way. And now you have to define a major query in order to accomplish this. Okay, let's take this for example. Let's say the max width for the tablet is, for example, it is commonly 1000 pixels. Okay, and then you can customize the card width. If it is the case, we would like for the tablet display, we would like to show 2 elements per line. So the width of the card is no more going to be 22% as you see over here, but it can be, I don't know, 40% for example, like this. You're going to test this together, the max width instead of the min. Perfect. Let's see what is the end result. Good. I'm going to remove this to show you first how it behave in case we don't have any responsiveness implemented on the page. Let's try to zoom this one. Yeah, perfect. So no matter how many elements that you have, it is always going to display all of them on the same line, all of the four element per line, I mean. But what you would like to do is that if you are on a tablet device, for example, around less to 1,000 pixels, you would like to show 2 of them instead of 4. So the card width is going to be 40% of width. So 40% by 2 is going to be 80, and the other one are going to be used for the space. You can see it right now. Now for smaller screen, let's say mobile device has a max size of 650 pixel, and for this one the width of the card are going to be 90% because we only need one of them to be displayed. So if I go very down, oops, doesn't show at all. Oops, sorry. But why it doesn't work? Let's find out. Media screen max width 650 pixel. Yeah, it is down to 650. One of the very first steps that you have to do in order to implement the responsive design is to define the viewport. Let's go back and refresh the page. The screen width right now is 831, which should display 2 elements because it is a tablet according to the media query. And if you go down to 650, you should see only 1 card being displayed on the page. That is how we just made our grid more responsive. You can play with the width or the grid system media queries in order for you to have something different that depends on you. And maybe for larger screen you can display more element over here, no more 4 but maybe 6, I don't know, but most of the time displaying it like this is very perfect. I hope you liked it. The most important action that you can do right away to support us are to like, comment and share this video, register to our newsletter and join our Discord server to be aware of new videos or generally tech content like this one. So see you in the next video. Bye for now.